Okay, it's December 28th. We're going to talk to Mom about the family history and get a little information from her. So, it's not taking a picture of you yet, but here it's going to now. You're a little nervous, but we'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, if I can remember anything this morning.
Well, we've got a list of stuff.
It has to come, it comes from way, way back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you remember where your parents came from and when they were born? You remember that?
I know Mom and Dad both came from Iowa, but I don't know the names of the towns anymore.
Well, apparently Grandpa Johnson was born in Applington, Iowa. April 19th, 1881.
Right.
Okay. And your mother came from Butler County, Ackley, Iowa, born October 29th, 1884.
Yeah. There were 3 years difference, I guess.
Yeah. And they came to, let's see. Well, your mother came to Emory, South Dakota in March of 1885, and your dad came in 1888.
I know it several years later.
Well, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they, somebody picked them up in a big grain wagon,
Oh, is that right?
And it was so cold, Papa said. In
It's
South Dakota,
Middle of the winter, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was in the middle of winter.
Doesn't say when. Doesn't say here when, so it must have been in the middle of the winter.
It was.
Of course, it's always cold in South Dakota.
No, not in the summertime. It gets hot and windy. A lot of wind. South Dakota has a lot of wind.
Yeah, it does. I remember that. Can you tell us what your earliest memories might be? Like when you were in school or when you were a little kid?
I have pictures of one of my first teachers, and pictures of where the Oceaners were all on, and we, Fred and John and Emmanuel and Ed, and Fernie was on too, I think. But there was about 4 or 5 Oxner boys besides Florence Hubert, and Viola Schultz was on, and Emma was on already. So Emma, Bertha wasn't in the picture yet. But I've got those pictures, and they're kind of nice to have.
Yeah, sure.
Norma Dixon was my first teacher.
Oh, really?
Not first teacher. No,
Well,
Mae Vandenacker was my first teacher, and how she was a red-haired Irish woman.
Oh, is that right?
Old maid.
Oh.
And Papa thought she was the best teacher in the world, which she was. But she was very strict, and I got my hand hit with a ruler.
You did?
Oh, yes, I did. That's the way she punished us.
Mm-hmm.
But she was good, though.
What was a day like?
Learned a lot.
Yeah, I bet you did. You know what a day was like for you when you were in elementary school? What a day, what
Well, we were all classes in the school.
Oh, a little one
First
room?
grade to 8th grade.
All in one class? Well,
All in one room.
Well, like how many kids in your school? No. It was a country school?
Yeah, like I say, there were probably 4 or 5 of the Oceaners, and me, and Emma, and Viola, and Florence Bleeker, and a couple of Swartz boys, Melvin and Lawrence, I think. That's probably the whole thing.
You got a good memory.
Well,
You didn't go clear through through high school in that school, did you?
I went through 8th grade.
Did you?
Oh, sure. You couldn't go any other place.
And then you went, but you
Papa
went through...
was on the school board. He was the one who hired the teachers.
Oh, really?
Oh, Papa was sure.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Oh, he was the head of the school board. There was a couple others, I suppose, on the same board, but I don't remember who they were. But he was the one who always hired our teachers.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and you know, he wanted us all to go through high school.
You didn't go through high school.
I did.
No, I thought you did. I thought you did.
I've got my diploma.
Well, that's what I thought. And when you said, but then you went to Emory to go to high school.
Yes. Allie was teaching already.
How much older is she than you?
4 years.
4 years. Well, she'd already...
She had already gone to college. Well, they only had to go 1 year and then maybe a summer or so to get their teacher certificate.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
So she was teaching in your high school class?
No, she was teaching in a one-room country school. Only it was larger than our where I went through.
So she was 4 years older than you.
Yeah, she was teaching, and it was right next to where Grandpa Terrain's farm was.
Oh.
Where this school that Allie taught, and that was 4 miles. And then she drove up there, and then I would take her car and go to Emory and go to high school.
She was still living at home too?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
She got her leg, had frostbite on her leg, and she said it still bothers her.
Frostbite?
Her knees.
Uh-huh.
Where they, I don't know just what it caused, but it caused some, and she complained about that here not too long ago.
When had that happen?
I don't know whether she walked, she had to walk, and when she came home, didn't realize that it was frozen, so you didn't take care of it right away, so, but I don't really know all the details.
Yeah.
But she did get frozen legs, and I got a frozen nose one time on the. See, that was the last years that I went over there. But the first year I stayed with my uncle and aunt, which was about at least 2 miles. It was probably 2 or 3 miles from Emory. And Emma and Uncle Ed, you know about Uncle Ed and Aunt Emma.
Mm-hmm.
And they lived on a farm about 2 miles out of Emory.
That was your mother's brother?
Sister. Younger sister.
Mother's younger sister, okay.
And she, that's where, Viola, my cousin, she was a year older.
Oh.
And so Viola and I both stayed with Uncle Ed and Aunt Emma that one winter, and that's when I walked those 2 miles. One morning, Viola and I got in the hallway there, the front door, and she said, "Oh, your nose is frozen." It was all white.
Was it really? Oh my.
So we put snow. I think there was snow outside, and that took care of it. It was hard to go to school. We didn't get it for nothing.
No. Should have moved to Colorado sooner.
Well, but we have had lots of cold weather here.
But not like that. It's bad up in there. A lot worse. They have a lot worse cold weather than we do.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And they're going to get it tonight.
They are.
It said the Canadian cold air is just coming down to South Dakotas, and I don't think we'll have that.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, after you got out of high school, you went to nursing school, didn't you, or something?
No, Viola was working in Sioux Falls, so I went to Sioux Falls one winter and worked in a home, and it didn't work out. I wasn't very good at that. But I stayed home after, when I didn't work in Sioux Falls, and then Papa got that ruptured appendix.
Oh.
And was I home? I don't remember if I was home when that happened. But anyway, he had a ruptured appendix, and he was in Mitchell Hospital for 6 weeks at least, maybe longer. And they didn't think he was going to pull through with his asthma and everything. and that hospital bill was so high. Papa couldn't pay it, so I went. They were hiring, family members to work off the bill.
Oh, really?
So I worked in that hospital for 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. I don't know.
Oh, that's how. I never knew how that happened, but that's why.
Mhm.
Were you the only one that worked?
Oh yeah, I was the only one.
The others didn't.
Mm-mm. But there was a lot of them that were working for their families, working off their bills.
Yeah.
And it was fun. We had so many good times together.
Oh, did you?
John and Tilly lived in Mitchell at that time. So on summer evenings, we would, have the day off, have the evening off, and we'd all walk clear to the main street in Mitchell near the Corn Palace. And they lived a little bit east of that yet. I've forgotten the name of the street. And then we'd go over there for the evening and spend the evening and then walk home again. It was probably 2 or 3 miles or more.
It's the only way you could get around.
At that time, yeah. Now, of course, Mitchell has changed too.
So then you met Dad when? You met Dad after that? Or?
No, that's when I met.
When you were working in the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Why was he?
He was we were over to John and Tilly's one evening, a whole bunch of us kids, and
Tilly, well, that's his sister, so.
Yeah, and so they had been in North Dakota, and he had worked on thrashing crew or whatever, harvesting anyway.
Yeah.
And Daddy had to. He had a Model T Ford, I think, at that time.
Oh, really?
I believe he did.
Hmm.
And Frida and him came back from North Dakota and stopped in Mitchell to see John and Tilly, and that's when I met him. And I thought he was he was smoking a pipe. Was it a pipe? I can't remember. But anyway, I didn't think that was very nice.
That's funny.
I didn't get a very good impression
you didn't
there.
have a very good impression of him?
Not the first night, I didn't.
Then what happened?
Well, I guess Fernie Oxner and him came down, and Alma Ruskins was working at the hospital too from Emory. And whether they were going together, I think we had dates.
Wow. Just started dating, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Can't remember it so far, a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
But I know that's and then there was some other neighbor that Daddy came over, and one of the other girls dated. He dated one of the other girls. Now I can't remember who they were. Yeah, that one winter, I suppose, or summer, I don't remember what that was either. But it must have been a winter, because it's probably...
So, actually, he lived in North Dakota then?
No.
No, he moved down to South Dakota?
His folks had moved to South Dakota.
Oh.
They left Lydia, and she got married, and then they left.
Oh.
They left North Dakota when Lydia got married. And Otto was 15.
Oh.
So they were lived in South Dakota, while. Oh, he said he remembers when he had to, haul grain and corn or whatever, grain, I think, from that they were selling to the elevators in Emory. And Daddy said he remembered when they'd go by our place. Oh, that's where all the girls live.
It was a bunch of girls.
And Otto remembered that.
You remembered that?
Because he was only 16 maybe.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that it was that. Oh,
Well, they lived in they lived quite a ways south of us.
Oh.
Well, south and maybe west. I don't know.
But they left Lydia there, and how much older is Aunt Lydia than Dad?
About a year and a half.
Oh, so she got married pretty young.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
16, I
Well,
don't know,
yeah.
17 evidently.
Well, that makes sense.
Because
Okay.
he was, I think, around 15 or 16.
Oh, so then Tilly, they lived there quite a while, and then Tilly, well, she's younger. Well, Dad's the second oldest, so they were all
Then
real young.
Tilly married Oxners because they went to
Yeah.
the same church.
Oh.
She met John in the church.
So they moved on to a farm there too? They were on a farm in North Dakota,
yes,
weren't
they lived right just 2 miles. Well, we were 3/4 of a mile from north of the school, and they were 3/4 of a mile south of the
Oh,
school.
so you weren't that far apart.
No, we weren't.
Oh. But you didn't know him very well then?
Oh, sure, I knew him well enough to. We've had, school kids were fighting,
Well, you knew Dad then before you.
No,
Well, you didn't know
just
him?
John Oxner,
Well, you knew John. I know you knew John Oxner.
but not the
didn't?
Fauth.
You didn't know them?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, none of those southern people I didn't know.
Oh.
Because we went to Emory Church,
Oh.
and there was a Plum Creek church
That they went to.
that they went to.
Oh, so you really never got to know him then?
No, not until I was working in Mitchell.
Well, you were how old when you met Dad? Wow.
23, probably 22. I don't know.
Then you went together quite a while before.
Oh, yeah.
Off and on?
Yeah, I guess.
Not steady.
No.
For a long time.
No. He worked. Did he go? I've forgotten whether he went to North Dakota again. I think. Archie Olda.
Oh yeah.
They all went to North Dakota during harvesting.
Oh, to make money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they did.
Yeah, followed the crops, huh?
Mm-hmm. So like a lot of them doing yet, I think.
Oh yeah, there's still a lot of them do that. That's
Mhm.
a lot of people make their living that way still.
But all the boys from Emory would just go to North Dakota and work in the harvesting
Well,
there.
then they would move back down to where they were close to home when they were, as the crops.
Oh, they always came back home. Their parents, Archie's parents lived in Emory.
Yeah, but I mean the crops around there. Who did those?
Were they earlier or later? I've forgotten. They were earlier.
Yeah.
So they would go to North Dakota after the crops were done in South Dakota. Then they'd go there.
Yeah, because it was just a short period of time, and then it
Uh-huh.
would change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
There's a difference. They don't all get. Aunt Ruth said though that Stephen had such a time getting his corn harvested this year
Oh, is that
because there
right?
was so much rain, and the corn was too wet. So even when it was ready to harvest, to harvest the corn, it was so wet that the machinery got stuck in the mud, and then Stephen hired one of his friends to help him, and he broke a foot.
Hmm.
So it was hard to do the harvesting
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
We were kind of wondering how weekends were different from school days. What did you do on weekends?
Oh, church.
Mostly just church. Saturdays and Sundays.
Well, Saturdays we had to clean house
Oh yeah.
and probably do laundry. I don't know what we did. Whatever we had to do, or take baths. We had to haul all the water in and heat it up on the cook stove and
Get ready for Sunday.
get ready for Sunday. And maybe do a little, if we had, everybody went and got their groceries on Saturday too.
Oh sure.
Town in
Going to
Emory
town.
was awfully busy on Saturday.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. That's when all the farmers went into town.
Mhm. That's where when we got our groceries, and so many times Papa would drop me off at my grandpa and grandma's, and I remember spending quite a few times with even Grandpa after Grandma died. You know, that's how I got to know him pretty good. Grandpa Johnson.
But his name was Engelbert, wasn't it?
Engelbert, yeah. I wished I had named John Engelbert instead of John Edward.
Why?
I don't know. He would have had a family name. John is his, Terrain is his of course, his Papa's name too.
Yeah.
Would have been his grandpa and his great-grandpa's grandfathers.
Let's see, it says here, John Engelbert Johnson was born, no, that's your dad.
Yeah, that's Papa.
Well, where was that piece of paper? I saw it. Engelbert. What was your what's your grandfather's name? Engelbert.
Mm-hmm.
Born February 12th, 1847.
That's right, on Lincoln's birthday.
But when was... the year?
1957, did it say?
1847.
Oh yeah, 1847.
Died in March 1931. Well, your dad was born 1881. Okay, okay. Then your grandmother was, how'd you say her?
Ollie.
A-L-I-E-D? E-I-D. Yeah.
They call it Ollie, sometimes Allied or whatever they said. I can't remember.
And then she was born March 14th, 1925.
That's right, I remember that now.
And then died October, no, doesn't say when she died.
Didn't it?
Died, no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong date. She died March 14th, 1925. She was born...
Same that Mama died. Mama
14th?
died March 14, 1964.
Oh.
I thought that was her birthday.
You know, she was born October 24th, 1846. That's, I had it all mixed up here. Anyway.
1846, and she was older than Grandpa.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Her name was Osterlo. There's a lot of Osterlos around Emory.
Yeah, suppose. Oh, let's see then. Let's see. Remember your sisters, all of your sisters' birthdays. I've got this written out, trying to remember.
Oh,
birthdays and the year she was born.
Allie was born August 17th, 1906.
Okay.
And 4 years later,
You were born.
August 11th, 1910.
You were born.
Mm-hmm. That was my birthday.
And then who was next?
Well, Lillian was in between Allie and I.
Yeah, okay. But
Her birthday was in December, but I can't remember which.
She died real young.
Year and 14 months.
Oh, really?
Well, she was over a year.
A year and 14 months.
No, just 14 months.
14 months. Oh, okay.
And then Emma was next to me. She was 5 years younger than I.
Oh, there's quite a bit of spread between you.
Her birthday's in July 16th, 1915. And Bertha was born February 11th, 1917. And Ruth was born Ruth was born, when was June 15th, I think. Ruth is June 15th, 1921. And Bernice is August 12th, 1924. And Joyce is February 9th, same as Jessica. February 9th, 1929. So Joyce is a young grandmother. She's got quite a few
Yeah.
grandchildren.
She's only 8 years older than I am.
I guess. Yeah, you were born 37.
Yeah.
She's a young grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Myron is several years older than she is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Probably 4 or 5 years older.
Let's see. I'd like to go back to talk about Grandpa Engelbert. He came over here from Germany by himself. Was that the one?
Yes. Mhm. Yes, he had to come by himself because they had all three of them. His older sister and his younger brother. They all had their tickets for America,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all on the boat already, ready to maybe sail within a couple of hours or whatever. And the German soldiers came on board, and they were, anybody who was draft age could not leave.
Oh.
And so they would be arrested, So Grandpa tore up his ticket and threw it in the ocean.
So they wouldn't think he was trying to leave.
He was just saying goodbye to his brother and sister.
So he got off the boat and...
And had to serve in the army there in Germany.
Yeah.
And then he came all by himself, and when he landed in New York, I don't know which entrance he came in, or his brother and sister either. What are those, where Statue of Liberty is?
I mean, Ellis Island and all that?
Ellis, I don't know if they came through there, but anyway.
They probably did. That was
It
big.
probably was, but
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
And he didn't have much money either, but so he saw these beautiful red fruit in the stores, and he was hungry, so he bought himself a nice, he thought it was an apple. It was a tomato, and he didn't like it. So that was his first experience in America.
In America. He didn't like the tomatoes.
And I don't know too much about what happened. He must have gone to... his sister and brother probably lived in Iowa, but I don't know. Can't remember ever hearing about that.
But they ended up in Iowa, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where he met your great-grandmother, or
Mhm.
your grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
my great-grandmother.
Right. Because she had come from Germany with her parents as a teenager.
Then your mother's folks, where did
They came from Germany too.
they came from?
Lodi, no, not Lodi. Laura, I don't know.
But they were married over there?
No.
Well, they were separate, they came over here separately too?
With all the teenagers when they came from Germany.
Oh.
And they met in Iowa. Grandma was a Jansen, and Grandma Terene was a Jansen.
Oh.
And Grandpa Terene, he had a sister living in Chicago for a while, because Mama would talk about their aunt, that she was, when she'd come and visit them, and on the farm, she was always a society person.
Oh, she was a society person.
Oh yeah, and always dressed so nice, and beautiful hats, and they just thought, ooh and odd, they have their
Yeah.
aunt come and visit them from Chicago.
Yeah.
That was Grandpa Terene's sister. So he had a sister, and a mother that lived with my grandparents,
Oh.
with Mom, when she grew up. Her uncle, my grandpa's mother lived with them.
Mm.
So at that time they did that,
Yeah. Why?
a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
She was a feisty woman, because one time
Which one was?
Grandpa Terene's mother.
Grandpa Terene's mother. Okay.
They said, I think it's in the
You never
family.
probably knew her, but
No, I didn't.
no.
They said it's in, I think it's in this family reunion, but
Yeah.
where it tells a story where she got angry about something, or something was upsetting her, and so she walked those 4 miles to Emory one time, and she wasn't young anymore. They said she was really a person that was independent.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, I guess, sometimes. And Dad's folks, his Grandpa Fauth came from, and Grandma Fauth got married over there in Russia, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then it was before the revolution that things were getting so violent over there?
They got here about 1906, I think, or 4, I've forgotten.
About when the Russian Revolution was getting started out.
Yeah.
So they were pretty violent over there.
Oh, in the apartment they lived in was on the street where all the Jewish businesses were.
No.
So the Bolsheviks came in and looted and vandalized all those stores. And Grandpa and Grandma Fauth sat in their little apartment with 2 little boys. They were babysitting his Grandpa's brother's 2 little boys. They might still be in Russia, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
And they were babysitting for them, and they had the lights off so nobody thought that there was anybody there,
Yeah.
She said we sat in the dark and just holding our breath when would they break in our place.
So they actually lived in, that was in Russia, Odessa's in Russia, but they were Germans living in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know much about them before that?
No. Just the names that Grandma gave me, Salome and was, I think, Grandpa's, or was it Grandma's
Maiden name?
first name? I think a mother or grandmother
Oh,
of your grandma's.
yeah. So that's...
I like that name, Salome. That's why I remembered it.
But much about them before that, there's just really not much known.
Not me. I don't.
Yeah.
The only thing I know that when Grandma told me that Grandpa's brother was taken to Siberia.
Oh. Well then, you said it was kind of a mistake that they got on the boat to come over here?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else had tickets and for some reason they couldn't go, or
They
what?
couldn't come to America. We don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so they gave the tickets to Grandpa and Grandma, and they didn't have much money either. They didn't have nothing to eat when they got in the train station in New York, I guess. And she said Grandma was expecting the oldest child.
Lydia?
Huh?
Lydia? Aunt Lydia?
No, it was a boy that they lost.
Oh, Reuben?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And so she was carrying, and they were sitting there, and a man came and saw them sitting there, and he gave him some money. He says, "Well, you're hungry, so just a good Samaritan."
Yeah. And then they took the train to
North Dakota, because that's where the others had gone. See, Grandma's parents, the Vogleys.
Vogleys. Okay.
Uncle Fred's.
Right. Oh, she's from the Vogley side.
Yeah,
Right.
her mother had died in Russia a long time ago. And Grandpa Vogley, what was his first name? I can't remember. He had remarried. So Uncle Fred is from this second marriage.
Oh.
It's half brother to
Grandma Fauth.
Grandma.
Oh. Her first name was what again?
Margaret.
Margaret. Okay.
Isn't
I
that a
couldn't
pretty
remember,
name?
yeah.
I love that name.
And his was Henry. Did he have a middle initial?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was though. He did
Dad
have.
never had a middle initial though. Dad never had a middle initial, or did he?
No.
That's
No,
funny.
he didn't. But there were two Henry Fauths in Emory.
Oh, was there?
One, they were cousins.
Oh.
So that's why they had an initial.
Oh.
But I don't remember what it was.
Hmm. Were there a lot of different Fauths around there?
Oh, Emory, yes.
Yeah. Oh, there was.
There's still a lot of people Emory Fauths.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Fauths in Emory.
Hmm.
That's why everybody knows you, because you have that name.
Yeah. So then did Dad had to work on the farm until he was 21, was that it? And
I think
provide
so.
support for the family?
Yeah, he did anyway.
Yeah.
And he worked out too.
Yeah. But
For
didn't
the
she-
Turnos, remember?
Yeah.
He had worked for the Turnos.
Oh, that's how
Because
you knew
one
that.
one time they used to have to sleep upstairs where there was no heat.
Mhm.
And what was it? They had to cover up because otherwise they'd freeze their ears or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, it got really, really cold up in that bedroom. It would freeze the water, I think, if they had water sitting at all in the room, it was frozen the next morning. I remember he said that one winter he stayed with the Turnos, and it was no heat. See, some of those smaller farm homes, they had, like we had, the heater was in and there was a register.
Right, yeah.
And so we had some heat upstairs. That was, you know, when I think of that, here I don't have to watch my furnace, I don't have to do nothing.
Isn't that something?
And Mama had to, you know, haul coal in and
And we got
ashes out
automatic
and
dishwashers and automatic washing machines and
washing machine is worth a lot too.
yeah.
And go downstairs and
Yeah.
get it done. You don't have to have it. It's Mom really had,
That was
and
tough
all
life.
they did
Sure.
in South Dakota,
On the
especially at
farms
wintertime.
especially, yeah, in the wintertime I can
They
imagine.
really had a bad time.
What were Christmases like when you were a kid? Remember much?
I don't remember too much about them. The only thing, we always went to church on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And the big tree with all the candles, and Henry Oldham, that was Archie's dad, would walk around there, you know, and he could snuff them out. He had a long stick, and then he could, you know, if they started flaming or, you know, catching fire, he could put it out right now.
Oh, they had to do that. Had to have somebody keep watch on the tree.
Oh, and it was funny just to watch that for the kids.
Yeah.
And then they had programs, kids. We had little poems to say.
Mm-hmm.
All the kids in each Sunday school class would sing a little song. And
Did you have a big church?
quite a few people,
Really?
but it probably wasn't large compared to what some of the churches are now. But it was so crowded that you had to, you know, almost fight for a seat.
Really?
Well, we kids in the front, you know, we'd all sit in front with our Sunday school classes.
Yeah.
And then if we couldn't go to church Christmas Eve, we'd have Mom would sing little Christmas songs to us and make it sort of a little festive.
Did you decorate any tree or decorate anything?
I can't remember that. Although Mom said, you know, the church always had trees.
Yeah. Well,
But
maybe
we didn't
in
in
you
the
just
house.
didn't do personally. You just
No, we didn't.
did the schools do things like that too?
No.
They didn't. Schools didn't
I
decorate.
don't think so. Not too much.
No, I remember when I was in school. They did. They always used to decorate the schools too.
Yeah. No, they didn't.
Hmm.
I can't remember them decorating schools at all.
And of course, the businesses didn't decorate or anything, did they?
Maybe they did, and I don't remember.
I would think businesses even then would have decorated
They
some.
must have. They must have.
It was. I'm sure it was somewhat commercial.
Oh, but not like
No, not like it is now.
Not like
No,
it is
no, no.
now.
I know that. Um, what about like Easter and stuff like that? Those were special. Those were special holidays, weren't they?
Well,
Easter Sunday.
I can't really remember. We had Easter Sunday always
Yeah.
at church.
But and it was special services and stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But at home we didn't have, maybe we maybe made hard-boiled eggs, you know, and probably ate them in the mornings, you know, for Easter, but
Yeah.
that's about it. I can't remember anything else that we did special. We didn't go looking for bunny rabbit like the kids think they gotta see a bunny rabbit now.
Yeah. Do that.
No, we didn't even know about that.
What's your best memory of your dad? And then one for your mother too.
Well, they were loving people.
Something
Never-
special that you remember about your dad specifically, and then something about your mother.
Well, whenever it was cold, he would try to stay in as much as he could because he didn't like the cold weather, and Mom would just put a little jacket on. She'd run out there, and her jacket would be flapping, and she didn't get
Never
cold.
Like I don't.
She didn't get cold, and Papa couldn't stand it going out in the cold weather.
But they were loving. You felt they were.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
they really were. I never.
They gave you girls a good life. Remember?
As good as they could.
Well, sure. You
We
never-
always knew that that they would do everything they could for us.
the best. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
It's not like some people now say that their parents, you know, would push them out, even wouldn't provide for them.
Yeah.
We always had food.
Oh yeah.
Always. We just never lacked for food or a warm place to sleep.
Yeah.
In fact, Mom was so really good at that. When I had accidents, I'd forget to get up, you know, and
Oh
night.
yeah.
And she, you know, she would come up in the middle of the night and change my bedding.
Really?
She was such a good mother that way. She never complained, never bought and scolded me for that, because she knew I wouldn't do that if I could have helped.
Oh yeah.
But Joyce had problems with one of her children that way. I know when we were Daddy and Elmer went hunting one time, and I got in the truck and went to Joyce's in the morning, and here Joyce was washing all the bedding of.
Yeah. Well, if you love your kids, you just do what you can.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see. Oh, we wrote this down. When and where did you meet Dad? And we talked about that already. And how long did you court? We talked several years.
I don't know. Can't
you
remember.
You were how old? 26 or 27?
I was 26, I think, when I got married. In
Dad
December.
Was 20.
He was 20, probably 25.
Yeah, a little bit younger than you were.
Because he probably turned 25 in March then, or 26 in March, because he was just 6 months younger.
This is something I don't think I've ever heard before. But did you remember planning your wedding ceremony and?
We didn't have a wedding.
Well, did you just go to the?
Presbyterian minister married us. Paul and Fern Holsingers. Paul and Daddy worked together in Fort Collins at that welding.
Yeah.
Forney's Welding there
Yeah.
in Fort Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And Fern was Paul's girlfriend. So they went with us. We were just Otto came to Colorado Emma came with him. She had been teaching, so he brought her to Colorado.
The reason you were in Colorado is because Grandpa Johnson they moved here
Mhm.
for his health.
And I had quit at the hospital.
Oh, so you were living in Fort Collins, and then
No, I was living in Loveland with Pop and Mom.
Loveland. Okay, that's right. It was Loveland when you first came here,
Mhm.
right?
And then Daddy and Emma came about Christmas, for Christmas vacation. Emma was teaching in South Dakota,
Yeah.
in Chancellor. That's where she met Elmer, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. We went. We decided to get married. I guess that was a year after Grandpa had come to Colorado. Because they came in. It was in. They didn't come for Christmas. They came for. He brought her home in June or after school without.
Oh.
I don't. You forget these things.
Oh, sure. That's all right.
And Daddy brought her, and then he worked at Forney's, and that's where he.
So when he came down here, he got a job at Forney. Oh. That's when Forney was just starting his business, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If I remember.
In a home. He had it in the house.
Building with electric welders.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But he would go traveling.
Mm-hmm. Selling
his welders.
Yeah.
And his wife would keep tabs, was the bookkeeper at home. And she lived right next door or something. After we were married, they lived right next door. So when we'd have to go get milk and, she would take me along out in the country and we'd get milk from the country. Mrs. Forney. I've forgotten her first name now.
So Dad, he came down here and got a job.
Yeah.
And that's when you decided to get married?
In December. But he had been here all summer. And
okay.
All fall.
Oh. You decided you liked Colorado, huh?
I guess.
You don't remember?
No.
What made you stay in Colorado?
Because Papa and Mama were...
But they left shortly...
No, they didn't leave until after you were born.
Oh. So they were here quite a few years.
Yes, they were.
Like how long, roughly, do you know?
They left South Dakota. I don't know. Couldn't tell you the year.
Did they sell the farm when they left?
No.
Oh.
Rented it.
They rented it.
To one of Pop's cousin's sons, Andrew Osterlo. No, it wasn't Andrew, Hans Osterlo.
Oh.
And which year was that? I can't remember.
And then they didn't leave until after I was born?
After you were born.
Oh, I didn't realize that they'd been here that long. And then they moved back to South Dakota?
Yeah, Papa got, he wasn't getting any better here.
And they liked South Dakota better?
He wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So they left us here by our stranded. And the first Thanksgiving, we didn't have any milk for your formulas or nothing. I think it was for Thanksgiving. Anyway, Salvation Army came and brought us some.
Oh, did they?
Daddy went to the Goodwill or some other, this county help or whatever, county welfare or whatever. Nobody would give him anything because he wasn't in Colorado that long, I suppose.
Well, he had a job then, didn't he?
He was at that time, I guess not.
Oh.
He did get. Right after that, he must have gotten that job at Snyder's filling station.
Oh.
But at the time, no,
well,
he
then
didn't
his job
have a
with Forney didn't last that long.
No, I don't think so.
Don't remember what happened.
I don't remember.
And then Judy was born shortly
then we, we were living in Fort Collins, and Pop and Mom lived in Loveland, and Otto's folks were in. When we lived in Fort Collins, John and Tilly came through, and they brought some pillows, and Otto was supposed to be Otto's, you know, because his folks had, in the summer. So that was in December or January, sometime when John and Tilly came through, and stopped in Fort Collins to see us, and leave some of those things that were supposed to be Otto's, and they went on into Portland, Oregon, where Otto's folks had moved in the summertime.
Oh.
They left their farm in the fall, after the harvest, I suppose.
And they moved to Portland, Oregon.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
See, his grandma's parents lived in, I don't know whether her dad was still alive then, but her stepmother was there, and her half-brothers were there.
That's why they went there.
And that's why they went to Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
And so then...
they sold the farm too.
They didn't have the farm, they were just renting.
Oh, they were just renting. But Grandpa Fauth owned it, Johnson owned his own farm?
Oh yeah,
Well.
Wasn't, he sold it for not much, and then, you know, he didn't get much for it.
Yeah, but he still owned it. It was something.
Oh yeah, it was his.
Yeah.
It was ours, you know.
Yeah.
And
well, did they own the house in Chancellor? They did. They
no,
bought.
they never.
They never owned that.
Never owned. They always rented in Chancellor, and they rented in Loveland too.
Hmm.
But after they left, and you were already a year old, I think, when they left.
Hmm.
In September, you must have been a year old when they left to go back to South Dakota. And then Daddy wanted to go to Portland, Oregon. So okay, we sold all the things that we had, beds and dressers and things. We sold everything and put in a trailer what we could, you know, what we needed, our bedding and so on, and your baby bed, and we went to Portland. When did we get there? I've forgotten when we got there. But we spent then I'm sure the whole winter. Because in February it got so nice, it was beautiful in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And the flowers were starting to bloom in February already. Yeah. We were there I think we must have gone in the summertime. Because we would hang Grandma would hang all the diapers and things on the front porch.
Hmm.
They lived in a kind of a nice big brick home.
Hmm.
They had bought that though.
Oh.
They did have enough money to do that.
Hmm.
And that's where you we got pictures of you and Grandma together someplace. Maybe I gave them to you.
I think I've seen them before, but then you only stayed there through the summer?
One winter, and Daddy all winter long would go to all the factories. You know, Grandpa and Ed were all working at the factories.
Grandpa was?
Not Grandpa, because
No.
he didn't get a job. All winter long, he tried to get a job.
I mean, your dad?
No, your dad.
My dad, yeah, but Grandpa Fauth.
But he was working.
Oh, he was. That's what I thought you said. Yeah, he was working in a factory.
And so was Ed.
Yeah.
And
But Dad couldn't find a job?
He just never got a job. So in May we came back here to Colorado. And right after that everything opened up after we came back here. So we were not supposed to stay there.
I guess not.
And then Judy was born in October
Yeah.
after we came back.
Well, so you were pregnant while you were out there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and we came back in May, I think it was, because it was beautiful, the whole trip. Wasn't a good trip with the trailer on behind, and one time we stopped, we were so tired, or I think, and it was at night, I think we were traveling even nights, and all of a sudden we stopped right along a railroad track, and you were oh, I don't remember whether that was there or not, but I know that one time when we lived in Fort Collins, you were in your bed and right beside us, and we had rented a little apartment, a couple rooms, and you were in that bed in the train. It came right, not too far from our apartment in Fort Collins, wherever that is, Magnolia, I don't know, and you jumped out of that bed, that baby bed, into our bed. You got so scared. But I think it was, we stopped along the road too, and we were sleeping, and I think it really scared all of us probably. But then we stopped in Idaho, Twin Falls, I think it was. Anyway, it was the capital. And you know, that's the funniest thing. We didn't have enough money. We wired here to Pop and Mom here in Loveland for some money so we could buy some gasoline to come the rest of the way. And you know, we went to the park to wait for the telegram to go through. And you know, my uncle and aunt he was a pastor in Salem, Oregon. Uncle John and Aunt Hilka Olta.
Mm-hmm.
They came along and saw us in the park there. They didn't know we were there.
So that was strange.
It was just a godsend. So they helped us, gave us some money.
Oh.
So we got home okay. Got back here, Colorado.
Yeah. What made you just, well, why did you, well, because your folks were still here, that's why you headed back here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I guess, I don't know.
No.
We didn't have anything there.
No. Didn't have anything in South Dakota?
No, and when we got back here, I think Daddy went back to Snyder's, the filling station again. Yeah, he did.
Mm.
He started working there again. Yeah, I think he knew that he could get a job there. It wasn't much of a job, but it was a little bit.
Yeah.
We just got along a lot less money than what people do now.
Oh yeah.
We couldn't buy things.
Then then Judy was born, and then shortly after it was.
Mm-hmm. After we got back.
And then you lived still another couple of years in Fort Collins, and then came to Denver?
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me before I was like 4 years old when...
Yeah, and Judy was probably about 2.
Yeah.
And that was in 41 or 42 when the war started.
Yeah.
So Judy was born in 39, so she was probably 41 or 42. And we came here so that he could work in well, he worked for
Eaton Metal?
Eaton Metal, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And made pontoons.
Oh, pontoons.
And so he didn't have to go, you know, in the Army because he was doing that kind of work.
Yeah.
Of course, we had 2 children, probably kept him from going to.
Let's see. Oh. When did you meet when did you meet Dad's grandpa and grandma Val?
Oh, in South Dakota.
Oh, you knew them
Oh yeah, after
you met?
when I was still working at the hospital.
Oh, So you met them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they invited this girl that was my roommate. My aunt, see, Pop and Mama were already in South Dakota, here in Colorado at that time. But my aunt still lived there on the farm. Uncle Hicko and Aunt Lena are still living on the farm.
Yeah.
So they had asked us to come over for dinner, Sunday dinner, I think. Or was it? Anyway, we were there. And then our mother asked us to come over for supper, I think.
Mm.
We were at Uncle Hicko and Aunt Lena's for Sunday dinner, and then went to Grandpa and Grandma's that's probably the first time I saw them,
Yeah.
for supper.
And what were they like?
Grandpa and Grandma
Fauth.
Fauth? So friendly. Well, Grandpa wasn't, but Grandma was.
Well, I guess we know about Grandpa Fauth was.
Yeah, he more or less ignored you.
He wasn't the most friendly person in the world.
No, he wasn't. Not to me.
I don't think
He
he
probably was to some people, but not to me.
I don't remember him being friendly. What little bit I remember of him, I don't remember him being very.
No, he wasn't.
Grandma Fauth was such a bubbly person.
Mhm. She was, and good.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of
She
amazing
was a
sometimes.
I never could have gotten a better mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She was wonderful.
We still got a little bit of tape yet.
I don't know what else.
Well, I'll ask you a couple more questions. Sherry wanted to know, is being a mother of four in that time, and when we were kids, that was a pretty big job. Didn't have all the conveniences you do now.
Didn't have the room either,
No.
that little bitty house.
Oh, that's right. When we lived on 41st, that was a pretty good sized house, wasn't it? Well, it's still there. 41st and Clayton?
Yeah, but Richard was born there.
Yeah.
And that was fine. But then it got sold during the war, you know. They were.
Oh, you were renting it from someone.
We were from Max Bear.
Oh, really?
So we had to find us a place in Irma. I was going to Mount Olivet, and met Irma. She knew we needed a place to live, so she helped us buy this place on 47th and Clay.
Oh, she did? And I remember about that is it had nothing but a roof and walls and windows and doors in it, and that's it. Didn't have a bathroom, didn't have the electricity in it, didn't have any of it. Somebody had started to build it, and
what was his name that lived across the street from us? I don't know.
and because you could get it for a pretty good price, then.
Well, yeah. I was just wondering. I don't think we paid much over $300. I don't know, because Irma, you know, didn't have that much either. But we didn't. We got it for quite cheap compared to.
But then I can remember the 2x4 walls and.
Oh yeah.
And I can sheets up on the walls.
Carrying water. I had to carry the water into my washing machine and.
And Dad put all the plumbing and everything in, didn't he?
We had to pay. We had it done.
Oh, you had the plumbing done.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. You had to. You couldn't do that
couldn't
yourself.
Do it yourself. What about the electricity?
We had to have done too.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
So you just saved until you could afford to have it done.
Mm-hmm. He was working at Eaton Metal at that time.
But it just had a front door, a back door, and the windows and the roof on it.
That's about it.
Did it have a furnace in it when we moved in?
No.
No
we
furnace?
put the furnace in. Long time ago, afterwards, after Daddy had dug the basement, the cellar, you know.
What would you use for heat before that? It had to have something. Did you have a wood-burning stove or something?
Yes, a cook stove. That's what kept us warm. We had a cook stove.
And Dad put up the sheetrock and all that stuff? Lath. It was plaster and lath, wasn't it?
You probably know more about
No,
than do.
that just dawned on me that that's what it was I can remember him putting up the strips for the plaster.
But he didn't, we had to have that done too, didn't we? I think some man came in and did
Okay.
that plastering.
Mm.
What we didn't do, what Daddy couldn't do himself.
Yeah.
He did some of it, but we had someone do that for us.
Do you? Let's see, what was this? Oh, what was that? Can you tell? Would you tell the names of your kids and their birthdays, like you did your sisters?
Oh, sure, I can do that easily.
Can you?
Sure.
Okay.
James Ellen Fauth, born September 16th, 1937.
Yeah, that's me.
Judith Adele Fauth, October 10th, 1939.
Right.
And Richard Lee Fauth, July 21, 1944, and John
Edward.
John Edward
Fauth.
Fauth, in August, his birthday is August 9th,
August 9th, 1950.
1950.
Yeah.
That's all four of them.
Can you give us a little bit about how you feel each of us? Just, I know we're different people and what you think about each one of us. Or is that pretty difficult to think about?
Not really. You were all different, that's for sure. You always wanted to go. Like my Uncle Hicko, he was if he couldn't sit still in the house for 1 minute.
I guess I still have that trouble.
And the Vogeleys too, they were, that had that traveling too.
Wanderlust?
Wanderlust.
Yeah.
The Vogeleys, you got it from both sides.
I see.
But yeah, you always wanted to go, and that kind of upset me sometimes. You upset me.
I did my share of upsetting you.
And then I'd holler at you, because the people that lived there was one boy, red-headed boy that lived across this alley from us, and she told me once, she said, she always, when I'd start hollering for Jimmy, why, that would, everybody could hear me.
I didn't know that.
Because you would go and play and didn't know,
Didn't know when
come
to come
home.
back home, huh?
You liked to play so well. You wanted to go. And you loved people.
Yeah.
And Judy, she was the same way with the kids on the block. You remember how Connie and her were always together.
Oh yeah, that girlfriend Connie of hers, yes.
So she was gone quite a bit too. It was always playing,
Yeah.
And Richard had friends there across in the, just like Vernon Ugart and Bobby White, the man that helped you get that training for.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby White was there.
Okay,
So Richard had several good friends there on Clayton Street too. And they always stuck pretty close. They didn't. I always sort of knew where they were.
You know where Johnny and Richard were, and Judy,
Uh-huh.
but you didn't know where I was all the time.
No, and after we came here to Lakewood, you had your friends, and so many times you were gone, and I didn't know where you were.
I don't know.
I didn't know your friends. And it was kind of upsetting. That's the only thing I remember.
I guess I was upsetting to you sometimes.
But
You might
There was nothing, I mean, there was no reason in the world to make a difference in our love for anybody.
Yeah.
You were all the same in that way.
Well, I know that, and I still feel that, but I know we were different. I know we were a lot different.
What were you looking for?
I was looking for an ashtray.
There's got to be one up there.
Stay there. I'll find it.
It's got to be up
But-
there. I
okay.
haven't ever moved it, I don't think.
That's all right. I was going to ask you another. Yeah, I still am pretty much that way. I have trouble sitting down for a long time. Can you just, do you want to, we'd like you to have you list what you can remember of the names of our kids, or John, all of us 4 kids, and the grandkids, what there are now. Can you remember? I would like to hear it in your voice. That's why, in your own voice. That's why.
Joni was the first grandchild, and she was a couple weeks old when Jim and Judy came back from Florida.
Yeah.
And
Let's see. Let's start with, I married Sherry.
yeah.
And then I'll go back up a little bit more. Jim and Judy got married first.
A year before you did.
Yeah. And then me and Sherry got married. And then Richard and Sharon, I don't remember what year they got married.
What was it? I don't know either.
And then John
56,
No, we got married.
66.
66, okay.
66, that's it.
Sherry and I got married in 58, and Judy and Jim got married in 57. Yeah.
And Richard and Sharon in 66.
In 66, and then John and Jeannie remember?
John and Jeannie got married in 72, wasn't it?
72, I don't know. Maybe it was. Or earlier than that. Don't know. Because Johnny would have been 22 then.
I think so.
Maybe so.
I believe so.
And then
See, he went through college.
Yeah. Before they got married. Yeah.
They got married right after he graduated in March.
Yeah. Then we had can you name our kids?
Oh yeah, Joni, and then Jeannie, and then Jay, and Jerry came in February, and Connie was born then in July. So
Right.
Connie's a little bit younger than Jerry.
Yeah, right.
And then in July, and the next July, the 21st, Connie's birthday was the 9th of July, and then
June. No, 9th of June. I don't remember.
why don't you use that thing that's over there behind the ashtray, and the napkin holder? Can't you use that? Will that hurt it any?
What? This is
Daily
fine.
bread, oh, you found one?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm standing here holding it.
I had never taken that away, so.
No, I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, Connie was born the 9th of July, and then
Kathy was born
Kathy was born the next July 21st.
which
and,
is the same birthday as Richard. Yeah.
And then in the following April, Jody, but I don't remember her birth date.
Yeah.
I can't remember her date.
Jody was born after Kathy.
Oh yeah, about
Okay.
6 months or something like that.
Well, okay, Jerry was still in between. Jerry was born between.
No, she was older than. There's 3 years difference between Jerry and Jody.
Well, Kathy's older than Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Connie and Kathy are both younger than Jerry.
No, not Jerry. Jeannie. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, right. You're right. Jerry's older than Connie. Yeah. She's just a little bit younger than Jay. That's right.
And Jody, her birthday is the 23rd. I've got to look that up. It's in April, I know. But I don't know those 20s, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And Jamie was born in 67.
Jody, Jamie, yeah, right. Jeannie, Joni, Jeannie, Jerry, Jody, and Jamie. That's it, okay.
Jamie was born in February 26, 1967.
Okay.
And then Jason was born...
Well, Gail was next.
Gail came in 68.
Yeah.
January 4th.
Right.
And then Jason came in 70.
Right. April 19th.
April 19th.
70.
Because that was my papa's birthday.
Okay.
And then the 12th of June.
Of
He was born, no, I don't know that
71,
either.
72, somewhere along there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
How old is he? He's 19, I think.
Maybe. Or
20
20?
plus 92?
If he was born in 72, he'd be 20. He's been out of school a couple of years.
It was 72 because John and Ginny got married in March, and then we went to, they stayed here while we went to California, and Mark was born in 72, you're right. And
then David would have to be the next one.
yeah, David was born in Virginia when
Richard had to go off on the ship.
he was gone for 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, he couldn't even, they wouldn't even wait for
Only
Sharon
a few
to have
days.
yeah. So.
Of course, Sanders went down, we're
Yeah.
with Sharon.
Well, I can't remember what year he was born then.
Can't either. I think they only have about 2 years difference, so 74 probably.
74 or 75 maybe. 74 maybe sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Then Matthew came along.
Matthew was 16 now, so he was born in...
76? No. Yeah.
He was only a little over a year old when Daddy died. 78.
78.
Probably.
Well, if he's 16, I'm just trying to think back. From 92 to 86 is 6 years. 82 to 70 is 16. So he was born in 76.
76?
Yeah. Had to be 76.
Well, he was...
John and Jeannie will probably hear this and they'll think that's wrong, but that's the way we figured it out anyway.
And then Andrew came along.
And he's what?
He's 6 years old.
6 years old.
The 26th of October, and he was born...
in 86. Had to have been 86. 87. 86. Yeah, if he's 6 years old, he had to have been born in 86. Because it's 92.
Yeah. But I don't believe that, if I have a pencil, I don't believe that Matthew was that old when Daddy, he probably was. They were already living on First Avenue when Daddy died.
Yeah.
And that was in 79, so
Yeah.
it was probably, he was probably 3 years old or so.
Dad died April 6th. Yeah, April 6th, 1979. And then we have great-grandkids. Judy has...
A whole lot of them.
Joni has 2. Ryan and...
Laura is 14. She'll be 15 in February,
Okay.
the 5th of February, and Ryan was 13 in September, 27th, I think he
Okay.
said. He just told me that here the other day, and He's 13 and she's 14, but she'll be 15 in in a month or two.
Yeah.
And then JD is 15. He was 15 the 19th of
JD
December.
is the oldest, isn't he, of the great grandkids?
Yes, he
Yeah.
sure is.
Yeah, that's right.
And
then
Rochelle is she will be 14 in her birthday's the 20 in March. She was only a couple weeks old when Daddy died.
And then Jody and Doug have 2 kids.
I know, but your kids are older than that. Yes, Dustin is 6 and
No, he'll be 6 in February,
and Ashley will be 6 in June,
right.
and
Levi in
Jessica will be 5 in February, and Cody won't. Levi will be 5 in April.
Oh, and then Cody
and
is.
Cody will be 3.
Okay. I
In,
don't know why I had the idea
next coming around in February. He'll be 3 in February.
Okay.
16th, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's all the grandkids, great grandkids.
That's quite a bunch.
9.
Yeah. We're getting run out of tape here pretty quick, and see. Oh, Sherry had written this down, which is kind of nice. And see. Oh, did you look back? Is there a period that was harder for you to get through than others in your life that you remember?
No, always left it up to the Lord. Never had any problems. I mean,
It's
as far as I
times.
know, we had hard times, of course.
Yeah.
And
It sounds like you didn't have very much money in your first years.
no, we didn't.
And that was had some hard times.
But the Lord always provided.
Seems to.
We
Seems to.
never went hungry, except that one first Thanksgiving. We didn't
You
have.
look back and laugh at it.
We
now,
didn't
but
have any money, but Salvation Army came through.
I guess I never knew that. That's interesting.
That's why we always gave. If we had anything to give away,
Yeah.
Salvation Army would get it.
Yeah.
And I still, when the bell rings, I don't like to pass it up,
Yeah.
ever.
Boy, I can see why. I can see why. How about some of the very best times that you can remember?
Oh, there were a lot of those.
Well, can you remember one or two that stick out real good in your mind?
When we went on our trips, we had such, just memorable things that happened. Visiting with my relatives.
We used to go at Christmas times.
One year, I
just
think.
1 year?
I think only 1 year.
Boy, it seemed like we went. That must stick in my mind, that Christmas.
I think we only went 1 year
Huh.
for Christmas. And never to Portland.
No. The only time I was ever at Portland was at Grandpa and Grandma Fauth's 50th wedding anniversary. That was
When you went with Daddy.
right.
And you and Aunt Lydia.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're 82. How do you pass your days?
Oh, just having so many wonderful radio programs that I listen to in the mornings. The whole mornings are practically taken up by just first listening to Elizabeth Elliot, who has a little 15-minute program, and then comes Word of Life. Chuck Smith from California. He's a Pentecostal preacher, but he's really good. And then I listen to Chuck Swindoll, I think, comes on, and he's very good. He's a funny.
That's what keeps you going during the day.
Yes, and John MacArthur from California, and through the Bible radio, Vernon McGee. He's a good Bible teacher. So now I can't see very good anymore.
So
But that's what I have done a lot of.
The radio's just been real good for you.
Oh, radio. I don't do too much with TV anymore. If I have it on 3 hours, that's the most usually.
Yeah.
Is she trying to gain? How did she get out? She
I've got
can't
that
make it.
I've got that open just a little bit.
She must have gotten out that way too.
Yeah, she did.
Anyway, that's how I spend my mornings usually. In the afternoon, I fix myself something to eat. And then sometimes I'll listen to Phil Donahue, but he has some dumb programs on sometimes.
Sometimes you...
And sometimes then I'm interested, so then I listen. And Oprah Winfrey sometimes, but usually not a whole lot of television. I usually turn it off.
What time do you usually get up in the morning?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock? And then what time do you go to bed?
8.
8? Well, that's not too... That's a pretty long day.
And I take naps.
You take naps?
I had one already today.
You had one before I got here, I know that. What makes you feel happy now?
Just knowing that your kids are all happy. That makes me happy.
Well, that's good. That's nice.
Really, that is a big blessing, and you'll find that out too.
Oh, yeah,
when
already.
your kids are happy, you're happy.
Oh, absolutely. I know that now. Yep, it really... Yeah, when they're unhappy, it really is,
Oh, it's no good. You
it's
just
not,
worry.
it's not much
I mean,
fun.
not supposed to worry.
But you can't
But
help
you-
it. No matter how old your kids get, you still worry about them.
They're
Is that right?
still your kids.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to thank you for bearing with me and Sherry and taping this. And if you have any final words for your family, can you for this tape?
Well,
Something we can all remember you by.
I hope that you can remember me, that I loved you very much, and Daddy did too.
Oh, we know that.
And he would have done anything for your kids.
Yeah, I believe he would have.
I think he would have.
Yeah.
So, what I want most of all is to see you there
But you too.
in heaven. That's what I want.
You know, this is for Judy and...
Be there.
Yeah. And you know, this is for Judy and Richard and Sharon, because Judy and Sherry and Richard and Sharon and John and Jeannie, because they're, you know...
Oh,
maybe
yes.
we'll give them a copy, you know, maybe we'll give them copies of this. And
They're all alike to me. There's no difference. No favorites.
do you have anything to say to any Judy specifically, or Richard specifically, or Johnny specifically, or me? You know, if you have something you want to say to one of the four of us.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, maybe that was too quick of a...
I don't know. I just want you all to be there.
Well, that's important.
We'll have a big reunion, and
That-
Daddy and we'll all be there.
Yeah, that's important.
And that's what we want, because Jesus gave his life for us, and we should be willing to believe that he did that for us, and he died on the cross to save us from sin. I just read that in the verse in the Bible here this morning about save sinners, and so we don't want to grieve him anymore with any of what we do or think. Sometimes the way we think is very important.
Yeah.
And just don't allow any of that bitterness or any hate, anything like that, come between you and the Lord. You just forget it, and he'll take it away for you. He won't allow you to think about those things if you just ask him. Seek the Lord, and he... what is that verse in Matthew? Seek
and ye shall receive, or something like that. Is that the one you're thinking
I
about?
think so. That's it. I know it so well, and I can't think of it now. I don't know now. There's so many beautiful, and stay in the Word, because that's so important. It has been a blessing to me. I memorized several chapters in the Bible, like the 8th chapter of Romans. I know that by heart, and the 23rd Psalm and the 27th Psalm is very important. When I wasn't sure what things were happening to me, whether I was doing something wrong. The 27th Psalm, because the Lord is the strength of your life. He defends us regardless. And the 37th Psalm is important, and 91st Psalm, Irma knew that real well, the 91st Psalm. I think it's the 91st, isn't it?
I don't remember.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. That's the 91st Psalm, I think. And Irma knew that too. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. What a promise. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under foot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. He's always with us.
Well, thank you for all this, Mom. I think we're going to turn the tape off now, but
Yeah, thank you.
this will be just great for all of us.
Well, it's been good to me.
You like? Yeah, I mean, this
Oh,
taping. Well, and your life has been good for you, and
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I can say that. I think I lived the best years of the whole world, in the whole world. Because I don't know whether it'll be so good anymore. Maybe there'll be a few hard days yet.
yeah,
Who knows?
You never know. That's true. Just live one day to the next, I guess.
Like Judy says, she lives one day at a time.
Yep. Well, we're going to close this tape now.
Okay. Bye-bye.